I'm sorry, you just caught me playing Beyond Two Souls, and it's a bit emotional. God, I'm really sorry. Just go to the VO. Just go to the VO.
Here's an excellent idea for a release bundle, a copy of Beyond Two Souls with a box of super absorbent Kleenex thrown in to soak up all the inevitable man tears, because as anyone who's played Quantic Dream's last PS3 Bloodfest Heavy Rain will know, David Cage likes to make games like beautiful buckets of wet, salty sadness, and then tip them all over your head. Blub, 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 blub. And the fact it's the objectively wonderful Ellen Page doing most of the crying just makes things even sadder, like David Cage deliberately picked the most maudlin-faced lovely he could find and then stuck her through an emotional meat grinder for 10 hours. That, or she's crying about the bleating Cage naysayers who have once again come out of their cynicism-encrusted mudholes to moan about how it's not really a game.
I mean ludonarrative dissonance that means I can make Ellen Page do this like a reluctant underage beer yo-yo means I'm giving Beyond 4 out of 10.
Yeah, but there's no jump button, is there? There's no mechanics. Actually, I'm tweeting that.
Hello, is that Willem Dafoe? Well, what about online multiplayer? What about leaderboards? What about collectibles? Well, I want to be sworn at and judged and put in a list, for God's sake.
I know, Willem. They're so stupid. So stupid.
Which is why you shouldn't listen to them. Beyond won't test your dexterity, but then neither does it care. It's a story and an experience. The point-and-click genre evolved into a hyper-pretty sci-fi drama, filled with thumping action beats and A-list acting talent. Speaking of which, Ellen Page is superb as troubled outcast Jodie Holmes, a young woman linked to a mysterious entity known as Aiden, who, as imaginary friends go, is kind of a blessing and a curse. A blessing because he can turn into a cool green force field that repels bullets and fire, and a curse because, well, he doesn't look particularly friendly.
Hello and welcome back. Now, if you remember last week, we asked you to send in pictures of your imaginary friends, and the response has been absolutely wonderful. I'm delighted to say. Let's have a look at some of the entries here. First of all, this is Bubbles the Bunny. That's sent in to us by Sally Smith, aged 8 3/4. That's marvellous, Sally. Thank you so much for sending that one. And here, well, this is certainly interesting. This is Doris, sent in to us by Chris Donald, aged 36.5. Thank you very much, Chris. That's absolutely lovely. And here, let's have a look at this one. Aiden. This was sent in by Jodie Holmes, aged 8. Well, that's certainly different, Jodie. But thank you very much all the same for sharing that with us.
The best thing about having a disembodied paranormal cloud as a BFF, however, is that you get to be a massive douche. Sort of like what might happen if an internet troll rose out of the online ether and became an actual living thing.
And she's a slut too.
You so did not just say that to me.
Are you alright? My God, what happened? It's her! It's all her fault! She burnt down everything! She's the devil! She's the devil!
Yeah? Well, she called me a slut.
Aiden's ghostly repertoire extends far beyond just ruining birthday parties and into far more sinister territory, however. His link with Jodie turning a bit fatal when she gets really angry, which, as a traumatised lone wolf who's constantly used, abused and lied to, happens fairly often. Using Aiden to do what is essentially a force choke on people isn't just for morbid pleasure, however. What I'm going to call ghost murdering is essentially an elaborate puzzle device, tasking you with picking the right people to possess, play with and then perforate in order for Jodie to progress. Action spikes puncture the drama with reaction-based QTEs that sync beautifully with Jodie's on-screen movement, complemented by exploratory downtime that's flooded with detail and... Oh, go on then, David.
Emotion, meaning, storytelling, evolution, experiences.
As a story, beyond twists from military thriller to reflective narrative character drama by way of trains, Monument Valley, and That Red Dress, and the narrative is as riveting as it is expertly woven, the pieces of which gradually sink into cohesion as you plough on through to the dramatic climax. Most importantly, whether you're galloping through the desert or flinging snowballs at spoilt brats who deserve it, the story is always anchored by Jodie and her lonely battle with the utter bastard that is her life.
It's also worth mentioning that Beyond is up there with The Last of Us for Best Looking Game of the Generation, and it wins my Super Official Award for Best Looking Sweat Paws on PS3.
Chances are you've already decided on Beyond Two Souls based on whether you were wrong or not about Heavy Rain, but know that Quantic Dream's latest is more explosive, more outlandish and more full of Ellen Page than any game they've made before. Yes, it controls differently to every game ever, and yes, the kissing bits still look a bit like a 6-year-old mushing a pair of Barbie dolls together, but the overall package is well written, wonderfully acted and technically stupendous.
It hits PS3 on October the 11th, and we recommend it like not picking fights with girls who have entities linked to them.
What the f*** was that Aiden shit? It was absolutely awful. My 7-year-old boy's at home watching this show. He loves this show. He likes to see the pictures that get sent in. That was a monstrosity, something out of a f***ing horror film. What researchers on, show me that you're f***ing researcher. Who was on that? Who f***ing sent, no, tell me who f***ing sent it in, because I want to have f***ing words with them, that's what. It's a f***ing travesty is what it is. I'm going to see that researcher right now. Right now I'm going to.